Book story today is Caps for Sales, illustrated by Esphyr Slobodkina. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he has on his own check caps, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called,
Cap for sale, 50 cents a cap.
One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down to the street calling,
Cap for sale, 50 cents a cap.
but nobody wanted any caps. That morning, nobody wants even a red caps. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch.
I think I will go for a walk in the country,
He said, and he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree.
That is a nice place for a rest.
He thought, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back a little by little against the tree trunk, so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he pulled up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own check caps, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red cap on the very tops. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his cap were in the right place. All he felt was his own check cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray, or a brown, or a blue, and a red cap. That peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them.
You monkeys, you,
He said, shaking a finger at them.
you give me back my caps.
But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said,
You monkey, you give me back my caps.
But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said,
You monkey, you better than give me back my caps.
But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, By this time, the peddler was very angry. He stamped both feet and shouted,
You monkeys, you must give me back my caps.
But the monkeys only stamp both their feet back at him and say, At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the puzzler picked up his cap and put them back on his head. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red cap on the very top. And slowly he walked back to the town, calling,
Cap for sale, 50 cents a cap.